Hello, so welcome to Golf FM, and it's another bag review. This time it's the Taylormade Flextech Premium Carry Bag. This is a bag that I've not stocked before. This is a market that is starting to open up. Probably been open for a while, I just haven't realised. But you've got bags like Vessel and Jones and things like that who are starting to make quite expensive carry bags. And this is Taylormade's attempt, I think, to at least be in that market and have an offering for Taylormade aficionados who want something like that but don't necessarily want to buy Vessel. So this bag is coming in at anywhere from £269 up to £359. That's probably the RRP, which is just sort of fanciful RRP. So it seems to be about £269, which is actually the same as the Ping Hoofer Tour, which I've just done a review on. I've just come off the set of Hoofer Tour, the movie. I don't know if you've seen that video. Put a link for it up there if you haven't. That's worth watching if you've got a spare half an hour. That was this bag. And that's £269 as well. So I suppose somebody that's in the market for that might be in the market for this. Don't know if they are, to be honest. This is bigger and shoutier. And the whole point of this is it's smaller and doesn't even have any branding on it. So I think I've just talked myself out of this being in the same market as that. So that was a waste of time. So the whole thing with this is it's subtle, it's small, it's understated. There is not a single bit of branding on this, other than on here on the plastic top handle bit. It's got Taylormade and it's got a little T there. I don't know if there's anything else on it, which is radical in itself these days, that there isn't. But there are some customers out there that just want something like this. They like to think that they're a bit of a connoisseur and they go for bags that have really good design features, but could be for any make. There's no loyalty to any brand here. The funny thing about this one is that this will probably get bought by Taylormade people. So people that have got Taylormade irons and they want something that's a bit smaller in terms of a carry bag. So this would be a good one normally to take away on a holiday or something like that. So you keep the weight down a little bit on the plane. But I'll come to that in a minute. One of the big things that you see when you pick this up for the first time is the material it's made of. Now it looks and feels a bit like leather, but when you look into it, it's actually called PU leather, which is a vegan-friendly, apparently, substitute for leather and any other man-made materials that might actually be not vegan-friendly. This is. So no vinyl cows were harmed in the making of this bag. This is a bit more environmentally friendly. So it feels nice. It does feel like leather. It's quite a soft feel. The only thing I would say about it is it feels a little bit heavy. You know, considering it's quite small, it's quite heavy. Now I'll try and find out the weight of it from somewhere and I'll put that up on the screen, but it does, your initial thought is when you pick it up is it's heavy. Now, I've still got this here. That's the Ping Hoofer Tour, which is heavier than the Hoofer, and that definitely feels lighter than that. The thing about it is it feels heavy for how big it actually is. So let's just go through some of the features on it, right? So the top is a three-way divider with a sort of felt feeling material, which feels like it might be fairly hard wearing. Inside you've got dividers that go down this side, down the middle, and also stop the top from hitting the bottom. It's a little bit gappy in here. You can easily get your hand round. It wouldn't be impossible to get clubs going through that side of that divider and into the other part. So I'm not that impressed with how they've done that. I would have liked that stitched in so it did actually make sure that the clubs didn't hit each other, because some people don't like that. And also it can damage the grips, it can put black marks on shafts, stuff like that if they're hitting together. So that could have been better, I'm afraid. The stand is one of the good features on this. Now it's got a great design down here. You've got magnets built into this, which are stopping you from ever having leg droop, the infamous leg droop syndrome that bags can develop, and that is always going to stay up. So that's a nice thing. It feels like there's maybe a tiny bit more resistance when you put it down, possibly because it's trying to stick to the magnets when it first comes out. Not really, I don't know. sort of. Maybe that's all in my head. But it comes out and it feels like a decent stand. It's not the most sturdy stand I've ever felt in my life, but it's probably good enough. And then you've got that nice feature that is never going to droop down. In terms of the strap, it feels quite padded, but not like overly comfy and padded, just normal. So yeah, you've got that in there. Feels fine. Usual sort of adjustment on it. It's just a world of hurt trying to work out how to get that right. But it can be done, and you only hopefully need to do it once. There is also the option they give with this, a single strap. So not like the Ping where you've got to try and work out how to change the double strap into a single strap. This just gives you one. There you go, there's a single strap. Have that, that's on us. That feels nice and padded. So that suits the person that thinks a double strap doesn't belong in the world and that we should never have moved on from single straps and that we should really never have moved on from wooden clubs either and hickory shafts and featheries. But if you want to use a single strap, be my guest, it's there, you can have it. Otherwise you sort of throw it away. While we're in here, let's have a look at the hood, because I haven't done the hood. I will do the pockets, I'll go through them because they're quite important. But while we're in the pocket, let's have a look at the hood. The hood is sturdy. The hood is like properly made from the same material. There's no sort of scrimping on the hood, but let's see how easy it is to go on. So it's absolutely pouring with rain. It's just started pouring with rain. I've got my Flextech premium bag. I've pulled this out, get absolutely soaked. I didn't realise it was going to rain. Nothing about this on the app said it was going to be 30% chance of rain, and now here we are, absolutely it's hammering it down. The wind's starting to get up and everything. I wish I hadn't bothered coming out. Here we are, trying to get it on. So try to recreate the conditions obviously here, around here. So it's Velcro. The world is moving more towards Velcro. That's interesting because I've just said, see, I was in a rush, right? It was pouring with rain. I was just trying to get going again. The guy's sort of looking at me down the fairway saying, come on, get a move on. It's got legs clearly written there at the front. And where have I put it? Round the front. Okay, so let's put this on properly again. Sorry about that. That was unintentional comedy moment. Right, so let's put it on properly. So we've given up. The guy, we've just waved the guys through because, you know, they were starting to get really annoyed. You could tell, sort of standing with their hands on their hips and huffing and puffing. So we've just let them through, and it's all my fault because I've got this new bag and I didn't know how to put the hood on. It's almost pointless now because I'm absolutely soaked. You know, I may as well just go in. But let's just keep going for the sake of it, just to see around here. There we go. Decent. Was it decent? It actually went on quite well when you sort of read the label. It says quite clearly legs there. For a Velcro attachment, it's quite good. It's got a double zip on it. I mean, this is going to be quite good in the rain, this material. It's not fully waterproof because it's not seam sealed, but vinyl in itself is inherently water resistant, so it's going to be quite good. That's quite a nice hood, yeah. I still prefer poppers. I don't see what's wrong with poppers. Plastic ones like you get on the Ping Hoover Tour would have worked well because they're light and they don't come out of the material quite as easily as like the metal ones used to. They weren't not ideal. But yeah, good hood. It's quite thick, I would say. It does take up a lot of space. I mean, there might be quite a lot of people who don't actually bother keeping that in there because it's like it's taken up probably half the space. But we'll come to that pocket in a minute. So other things on the exterior of the bag, a grab handle here with a nice little bit of feel behind it. Nothing as soft and nice as you get on the Hoover Tour. Totally different category of bag, obviously that. So grab handle there, water bottle pocket in there. Perfectly nice, not insulated in any way. That would have been nice if that was insulated. I know it's still so the air's getting on the top of it, but I think it does help a little bit when it's fully encased in an insulated area, even though you can get hot air onto the top of it. Is there a bit here? There's a grab handle at the bottom for putting it into your Lamborghini at the end of the day. So we've done stand, we've done everything else. So there's an umbrella loop, slightly strange umbrella loop there. It's just a little sort of pull out thing. Really need to get a move on with this because of the last video, I don't know if you've seen it, the Ping Hoover Tour, keep on about it. I called it Ping Hoover Tour the movie because it was 21 minutes long. It was a single bag. I haven't checked YouTube, but I think it might actually be a record for a single bag review. That goes in all right. I'm not terribly happy with it, if I'm being honest. There's a funny little ring bit on there, which I don't know what it does. I don't know why that's on there. And that does fit the umbrella, but not particularly happy with that. It's all right. And then for some reason, it's got a wee built-in hook to secure it while it's not in use. That could have been better, the way they've done that. Anyway, that is what it is. They've done it now. It's too late. Incidentally, there's two colours of this year in the UK. One is black like that, that. And the other one you'd think might just be like grey or something like that, maybe just a blue, maybe a navy, something like that. No, camo, full-on camo. Strange decision that. You know, for the person that likes this sort of thing because it's like understated, doesn't have any logos on it, let's just chuck a camo one in there. So you might even lose that in the woods, is the other thing. You wouldn't actually know where your bag was. Anyway, strange decision that, but this is the black one. Padding here, quite nice. It's quite solid. It's quite a nice quality feel to that, and offers quite a lot of comfort and padding there, so that's good. Right, I think we're on to pockets now. So the first pocket I would do is this one. And this is quite nice. This has got magnetic, which is nice, and a nice solid pull handle there you can get your hand on. Really quite a nice pocket. Perfectly good tees and balls and whatever in there. Accessories. Oh, there's a glove thing. Whew. Oh, thank the Lord. I nearly thought it didn't have somewhere to velcro your glove onto. Right, so you've got that if you need it, if you want to use that. There's no outside pen holder on this. So, I mean, that's an absolute deal breaker for some people because, you know, where else does that go? You know, maybe try the pockets. So that's good pocket. Then we're on to the sort of main pocket at the front here. It's not feeling like the best quality ever that you could imagine. It's feeling okay, but it's not like majorly premium feeling in here. It's okay, as I say, it's pretty good, but there's no insulation in there. So you're not taking any hot food with you. A bit like Hoover Tour as well. You can't do it on that. So it's not big enough for anything remotely like feeding a family or anything like that. Roast chickens, can't get it in there because there's just simply not enough room, but it's not insulated anyway, so it's a non-starter. It's a decent pocket. It's a decent pocket, a little netting at the side. Again, it doesn't feel, and that velcros off that netting. It just doesn't feel like ultra premium or anything there. The material itself on the outside kind of does, but the workings, the inner workings are not screaming unbelievable quality to me. So side pocket here, again, it's got that slightly strange feel to it inside, the back of the PU, leather as they call it. Little pocket in there, sort of stitched on. Doesn't look particularly amazing the way they've done that, but it is at least a pocket. So that's okay, not massive or anything. Well, there's a little loop up there, so that must be like a towel thing as well. So forgot about that, didn't see it. So let's go into this pocket. So this looks like your waterproof pocket because it's kind of got that waterproof kind of cover to the zip. So that's quite good that they've done that they've put, you know, wallets and phones and whatever in there. It's quite short actually. It's not terribly deep. I mean, it does fit. Phone, obviously no bother there, but it's a wee bit tight. You wouldn't get like a big fat wallet with like $5,000 worth of notes in it and stuff like that. You might be struggling a bit. It's an alright pocket. So the big pocket, clothing pocket, let's look at this. So yeah, you can see there immediately when that's in there, that cover, you wouldn't want to be trying to get a lot of clothes in there. But again, I think this bag is quite often be seen as a Sunday bag, a sort of 9-hole bag. Obviously fits a full set and it's got storage to use all the time. So I would think a lot of people, if they buy this, will be using it a lot of the time. Won't just be a holiday bag. Maybe if you're going on holiday to a hot country, you don't take that. I'd be probably leaving that behind if I bought this bag. I'd be thinking, right, the last time I used it was just a nightmare. I had to let a group through and they were shouting at me and I'm not going through that again. It was too stressful. Played terrible after that. This pocket is slightly unsatisfactory. It's fine. I mean, there's enough space in there, but it's a little bit tight on entry. There's a little key thing in there, but you know my feelings on that. If you've seen any of my other videos, never use it at all. It's a total waste of time for me. There's a little pocket in there, but it's not that easy to get into. It's just a little bit tight feeling, but that would just be the material potentially. And then there's a wee gap bit zip to get into the bottom of your bag if you drop something down the bottom of it. And it wouldn't be that difficult to drop something down the bottom of this because it's just quite big holes at the top. So that's useful to be able to get in there. The zips all feel quite good. They've got nice little PU leather tag bits on to pull. So they all look and feel quite good. So what do I really think of this? Do I recommend it? So I would say on the face of it, it looks really premium and it looks high end and it is quite expensive. But when you start digging into it, it's not quite so good under the surface. And with the weight of it and the price of it, it's not something that I personally would be really interested in. I don't often feel like I need a bag to be this small. So maybe it's not a market I'm I'm in anyway. But if you need something a bit smaller and you want to take it away on holiday and that sort of thing, I understand that. And I think it is a decent option for that. There might be lighter versions of this out there. I know that if you got a bag this size and it was made from like a normal kind of nylon material, it would probably be half the weight of this. I suppose you're starting to think to yourself, well, am I buying this because I really like that look? I like that kind of premium, oh, what kind of bag is that look? You know, no advertising on it, quite understated, quite classy, I suppose. Maybe not the camel one so much. I do get that there's a market out there for it. In terms of like cold hard facts, it's a bit too heavy for the size of it, I would say. The pockets are okay, but nothing more than that. There's enough room considering it's a smaller bag. There's quite a few options. They've got a decent feel to them. It's not that luxurious inside or anything like that. You haven't got nice feel materials. You know, the Hoofer Tour had a pocket on it that I actually would quite like to explore the possibility of getting a whole bed set out of it, like covers and blankets. It's that soft and nice. There's nothing on this. You wouldn't want a bed or a blanket made out of this. It would be a horrible thought. No, I don't even want to think about that. So, in conclusion, I wish I hadn't bought it for the shop. I knew it was a slight risk. I haven't bought anything like this in the past because normally I would have looked at it and thought, how much for a small bag like that? And wouldn't have bought it, but still haven't heard from Vessel. They haven't contacted me. I don't know why, to sort of send me loads of bags and review them, or Jones for that matter. So I thought, well, let's get one of these type of bags, see what it's like, do a review of it, and then at least I've done it, at least I know what it's all about. And so, yeah, there's nice things about it, and the way it looks and everything, but it's a wee bit uninspiring in terms of like the way the pockets work and that sort of thing. Sorry if you've got one and you were kind of watching this for affirmation that you'd done the right thing. And, you know, it's just my opinion. I mean, it might work perfectly and be perfect for you. And I do think it's got its merits, as I've said. I just can't get too excited about it. It's not any sort of surprise and delight features or materials that you don't really ever want to take your hand out of. I mean, I almost couldn't take my hand out of that Hoofer Tour pocket. It was just on another level. So that's it. Yeah, base, what's the base like? Yeah, fine, just normal. Well, you've heard what I think about it. You don't have to agree with me. If you've got any questions, put them in the comments and I'll get back to you. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next one.